Dobry den. Kurwa mać, this is about the 10th time I've taken this video, so this time she's gonna go. A fella, Clayton, got a hold of me. He's from my parts. Awesome guy. He runs a Pinto. Not a pile of shit either. Beautiful car. High 10, low 11 type of thing. And he runs it out at the VAG airstrip. Not the best place to be racing, so he's going to meet up with me and Mike over the summer at a real track, and we'll get him dialed in. But he bought this intake for 425 olds, Offenhauser Turbo Thrust 360 in a dual quad setup. Awesome intake, don't have to do nothing to it, works great. Single quad, not so much. Reason being is your intake, your carb charge comes in, and it's either got to go, it does like a bullhead T. It's got to go this way, 90, 90, or this way, 90, 90 to get in those runners. So that's the issue. If it was a dual quad, it would be lined up with the runners and everything would be hunky-dory. So what I told him to do is to get a 2-inch carb spacer and funnel the bottom out as much as you can, so the gaskets can still seal, but grind the bottom out, front and back. The sides are fine. Once you get that done, this was his idea, damn good one at that. He's going to run a bunch of stringer passes of aluminum in here, and then he's going to grind on the inside to get that more funneled. So now he's got it so the flow has no problem going this way and this way, almost like a Y instead of coming down, boom, boom. It's going to go nicely, because he's going to have the short radius done, intake, back there, in here, and carb spacer, so it's going to be funneled out, so it's just going to flow nice. This is just the 650 on it, and this is a 302. Plenty of carb for a 302. You don't need to be covering your carburetor full of JB Weld every day and grinding. 650 will support a lot of power on a 302, so just get that out there. But yeah, this Clayton guy, he's going to put a 850 on the top, which is perfect for 425 olds. He's a Holly guy, nothing wrong with Hollies. The only thing is they're very expensive when new, and when used, you could also use it as a yard sprinkler because they will leak out everything. They'll leak out of places you didn't even know they could leak. So I recommended going and finding an old Carter thermal quad off a Big Block Dodge. They're a dime a dozen. They're 850 CFM. They even made them 1000 CFM in the competitive series ones. But one right off Big Block Dodge, cut the choke horn off, put the pump shot at as high shot as it can, and then loosen off the secondary valve till it bogs where it comes in too soon, then tighten the spring up a bit, and you're golden. So that's what he's got going on there. So you can watch this video and just make sure what we talked over the phone, we were both speaking the same language. But off the heads, he's got C heads. These ones are E's right here, same shit. For porting wise, anywhere you see this boss on the outside, all the heads have those except for A heads. Nothing wrong with an A head, damn good head. All of them are good, even small valve ones. There's so much little difference. They're all good except for J's. J heads have massive shrouding under the exhaust valves. It could be fixed up if you wanted to port to the kids come home, but a lot of work there to get them to work, but they can be worked. So if you look on the inside, see in the corner, there's those bosses. That's what you got to get rid of. So take those down with a carbide cutter, get rid of them, and then once those are gone, go over with 80 grit roll. Another thing on the exhaust side, either use Nyrod 55 and build this up, 18, or some flux core, build this up high, grind it down smooth, use a straight edge so you know it's good. Take a carbide cutter, get the sides so it looks nice. That way your proper header gasket will seal and you won't be dumping from one cylinder to the next. So that takes care of that. Here's the intake side. Edelbrock makes a plug that goes in here. It's cast iron. They say just grind it to fit and push it in. I would bevel it back, the plug itself, at 45 degrees all the way around, so you have some meat in there, and I would weld it. You want to preheat this kind of stuff to at least 300 degrees, and then you want to weld, peen, weld, peen, weld, peen, weld, peen, and then put maybe a blanket over it and let it cool, or some sand or something, and then grind that sucker down smooth, because if this is left open, it'll burn right through an aluminum intake like fuck all. Trust me. I've seen it many times. So get rid of that. The intakes on them are quite good. If you don't want to do any work around the valves, there's a few spots like right here and right here. That's where the spark plug, or not spark plug, valve cover bolt comes through. You can take that out to add a little bit. And yeah, that's very, very basic headwork on an Olds. If a guy wants to, he can do elaborate shit like I've done in the past. That's an E-head that's been fully ported. And it doesn't get any better than that. Those are full port heads, all the way to the max. Ended up hitting water on one of them after about 80 hours of grinding, so to hell with that. But I did a damn good job on them, I'll say that. They were looking pretty good till they looked a little too bad. But even the intakes were full port all the way, and yeah, I ended up starting to hit some bad spots on them. Some of them was where the push tube slots are. I was gonna epoxy hobby tubing rod in, but to hell with it. I just decided to start over fresh and not go so crazy next time. But keep it around to kind of know what a guy can do. But yeah, if you do what I said on the first set, get rid of those air bumps, fill the crossover on the exhaust, do all those things. They'll run with a set of out-of-the-box Speed Pros and all that kind of shit. I actually really like the factory rock arms on an Olds. They're only good till about 500 valve lift. Then at 500 valve lift, the problem is you don't have enough slots in your rockers. So if you wanted more and you want to run this setup, you'd have to grind the slots bigger. But Olds heads don't gain a whole lot of flow after 500 lift anyhow. And I sent them the specs on a Howard cam that I love. It's my go-to cam. It's my secret weapon. If we're putting something together very similar, and I ran that and you ran yours, I guarantee you'd be coming out on top of you. So that's what I got going on there. So for headwork, that's what he's going to do. And I told him to run. He's going to run fender well headers in it. It's going in like a Bobcat Mercury. So I told him to run small block Chev fender well header with cut off, and then weld them to an Olds manifold, because the port spacing is very, very close on the two, and that's the best you can do. But yeah, if he does that to his heads, those motors are 10 1/4, 10 1/2 to 1 already. Hopefully everything's in check. I told him put a little stiffer valve spring on, just a single spring. You can keep the same seals, run that cam, 501 valve lift. You don't have to waste money on rocker arms or push tube alignment tools or any of that crap, and it'll work damn good. It'll work very good. I've done it. I've proved it. So that's what I would do if I was him. Probably shift it at about kind of short shifted 58. Probably take her to 6, no problem. I said the same thing with oil pumps. If you're gonna run an high volume oil pump, you probably want an 8-quart pan. If you want to restrict the top end, get some pipe cleaners, like with the steel in them. If you're cleaning like a tobacco pipe, jam them down your push tube slots, cut them off so they're 1/4 inch in on each side, short, and they'll stay there and they'll restrict flow through those so the rockers won't dump all the oil up top. And you could also clean up the oil drain back holes, kind of put some tape around the outside so it does want to drain back a little better. It ain't gonna hurt. So he should have himself a rowdy car. I can't wait for him to come to the track and meet up with me and Mike. You know, he'll be the lightest at 26. Mike with his cage now will probably be closer to 28, and I'll be at about 29. But all light cars and pretty cool fab work. So before I end this video, I'm going to go find a knockoff Carter thermal quad so he kind of knows what they look like.